Shalom. Welcome back to the Israelite Girl's Guide to Living for the Most High. I am your host, Asia. Thank you once again for being here with me on this journey to discovering and learning how to live for the Most High. This has been such an amazing season. The first season was also amazing. So I thank you for being here with me on this journey. If you haven't already, please take a listen at the first 6 episodes of season 2. We talked about modesty, we talked about faith, we talked about trust, we talked about humility, we talked about repentance, and we talked about accountability. And today we also have a lovely topic that we're going to discuss. And like I usually do in past episodes, I am going to be speaking from a personal story on this episode. And if you haven't already seen the photo or read the title, this episode is actually about gratitude, which is also another major quality that you should possess if you are seeking to live for the Most High. The Most High has given us everything. Literally the entire world He has given to us, the entire earth He has given to us. And a lot of times we don't appreciate what He's actually given us. And that is such a travesty. And so today I'm here to share with you a little story about how I learned not to take anything for granted and not to wait until something is gone to appreciate it. So this story begins with me. I am enjoying being a new wife, and Yawitazah, my husband, was actually traveling to Africa, which was such a major trip for him. If you don't know, the United Nation of Yisrael was invited to travel to Liberia last March/April, for an opportunity to develop our international affairs, to meet with some dignitaries and leaders over there, to discuss, uniting the diaspora and seeing how we can collaborate and help bring the two sticks together. So he was also invited to join on that trip. And that was super exciting for him. Obviously, I'm excited for him, but also just to see how prophecy is unfolding in this time. That was a super monumental occasion, and I couldn't have been more proud. So he's off to this amazing adventure, never been out of the country before. And he had several stops he had to make along the way. The first stop was New York, JFK, because that was the airport that had the most affordable flights to Africa. So he traveled to JFK by train from Philly and arrived in New York, spent time with the elders there, and they boarded a plane, I think at 9 at night from JFK to head to Morocco, which was where their first layover was. So that was a long flight. The Morocco flight, I wish I could actually remember how long the flight was. I just know I was trying to stay up all night to ensure I could hear the phone ring. That way I would know whenever they made it safely to Morocco. So I think maybe like 6 hours went by, 6 or 8 hours went by. And this was a red eye, mind you. So it was the next morning before I heard anything back about whether they had landed safely. They landed safely in Morocco, and they were actually very accommodated once they got there, which I was super shocked to hear. I didn't know that airlines will really put you up whenever you have those late flights and those long layovers. They'll put you up in a hotel, they'll feed you, they'll transport you, all of the above. So I was astonished when I heard that they had all of these accommodations. And I was so happy to hear from him once he said they had landed. I was able to do a video chat, which I was also very happy about. And I was just more so happy to see that he was safe and that he was doing well and getting some more rest before they prepared for the last half of their journey. So the last half of their journey, they would fly from Morocco to Liberia. And that flight, I believe, was another maybe 6 hours or so. Like I said, I can't really remember. But that was like another, decent amount of time in the air on that flight. So they landed. And I heard that they landed, and that was great news for me to hear. Anytime you have a loved one traveling, it doesn't even matter if it's domestic or internationally. You want to know that their plane landed safely. You don't want to hear about a plane crash or something crazy like that. So heard that they landed, was happy to hear that. Actually, let me rewind. I don't think I heard that they landed. I think this is where the juicy part of my story gets. I'm awaiting to hear that they have landed, and I haven't heard anything. It's been a long time. And I start getting paranoid. I'm like, wait a minute. I know they left Morocco at this time, and I'm trying to calculate the math. Like, it would take this many hours to get there, factor in the time difference. They should be here at this time. Why haven't I heard anything yet? So I'm reaching out, I'm calling, no answer. I'm like, oh my gosh, heart beating fast. I'm over here paranoid, like, please don't say this plane crashed or something crazy happened. Like, what is going on? Why am I not getting a response back? And so I am just waiting by the phone, like, where are they at? Now, pause for the cause. I have to pause at this point in the story to take you back some to the beginning of how all of this happened, months and months prior. So if you don't know, Yuwita's from Pennsylvania. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. And the majority of our relationship was long distance by this point. We were not living together. We were not traveling together that much. Here and there, we may have trips planned. But for the most part, our relationship developed and was curated online. We met on Zoom. So, this was just the online relationship for a long time, dealing with long distance. And one thing about me, of course, I love him dearly and want to talk to him as often as I can. I just really hate having to rely on a device to be able to have a decent conversation. I hate not being able to look you in your eye, flesh and blood moments, like see you in real life. I hate having to go through these portals and mediums to stay in touch. And so that would make me not even want to be on the phone. That would make me be a little dry in the messages. That would make me not want to sit on the phone for hours all day. Although I missed him, I loved him, I wanted to talk to him. I just really hated that this was the method that we had to rely on to have conversations. So fast forward back to where I was at the beginning when I started this story about not hearing from him, whether he landed in Liberia or not. And so I'm freaking out. I'm nervous. His mom is up. I'm texting her. It's like 4 a.m. I'm like, have you heard anything? She's like, no, have you? I'm like, oh my gosh, no. Like, what is going on? And so some hours go by. I think I doze off to sleep a little bit because I'm like, okay, it's like, let me stop being paranoid. The Most High got him. He's good. He's safe. Maybe the cell phone reception is just super bad. Like, that could also be a possibility. Why does it have to be this morbid thing that I'm assuming has happened? So I doze off to sleep. I wake up and I see a message from Elder Shemaiah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what is this saying? Turns out Yuwita's lost his phone. Literally, as soon as they landed, they were met at the airport by everyone, all the brothers and sisters in Liberia that were awaiting their arrival. They were taken to a restaurant. They'd had a foot washing ceremony. And literally at this restaurant, Yuwita's lost his phone. I'm like, first of all, I was annoyed because I'm like, how do you lose your phone as soon as you get in a foreign country? This is why he walks around with a fanny pack now, because I'm not playing these games anymore. But I was like, okay, I'm happy to hear that you're safe. But dang, now how am I going to talk to you because you don't have a phone now? So that was super annoying. But I was more so grateful that I knew he was safe, that everything was okay. And that the only, dramatic part of this was just that he lost his phone and would be without a phone for the next 2 weeks. I had to come to grips with that as well. So got the news, told his mom, everything's okay. I talked to his dad, everything's okay. They're like, whew, good. Like, I was nervous. I was like, me too, but the Most High got him. So during this time, I realized that you really can't take for granted what you have right in front of you. When this happened, I was annoyed because I couldn't talk to him when I wanted to, whenever I wanted to, like I had previously. When he was in Philly and I was in Charlotte, I could talk to him as much as I wanted to, sit on the phone all day, literally phone calls lasting 20 hours, go to sleep on the phone, wake up on the phone, be at work on the phone, everything on the phone. And I didn't want to be then because it wasn't what I wanted in that time. And instead of taking advantage of all those moments where we could have been having those conversations and just being in each other's presence, virtual presence, I was hating the fact that we couldn't be in person. And so now that he's on this long distance trip and I don't have the access I once had, now I have to wait until someone else is able to give him a phone so that way he can communicate with me. I can't be on these video chats all night like I wanted to. And thankfully he did have his iPad with him. So once he had access to internet, we were able to talk here and there, but the time difference was also a huge factor. I didn't have the time that I once had. It wasn't at it wasn't at my fingertips. It wasn't tangible enough. It wasn't something that I could easily grasp and take advantage of. And I realized how much I had been taking for granted all the months and months prior when I didn't want to be on the phone, when I didn't want to talk as frequently as I did when he was in Africa. And so this story just showed me that the Most High will remove things from you if you're not appreciative of them. And, someone could be listening to this, reading this, watching this, saying, you're blowing this out of proportion. It's not that deep. But, I look at everything deeply. I look at all the things that happen to me in life introspectively, and I'm always seeing how I can learn something from it. And so, definitely, what I learned from this is that the Most High will be like, oh, okay, you don't appreciate the blessing I've given to you. I'll take it away. I'll take it away and I'll let you feel the absence, even if that includes the Most High. The Most High does that as well. If the Most High peeps the fact that, oh, you don't want to speak to me, you don't want to be in my word, you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to adhere to the things I've told you to do, I'm just going to remove my presence from you altogether. And you're going to feel what that absence is. And it's going to make you yearn for more. It's going to make you want to be back with me. And I'm going to let you feel that for a second so you'll never do that again. And that's ultimately the lesson I learned with this story. I learned, wow, I had, 24/7 access to this man whenever I wanted to, and I didn't want to take advantage of it just because I didn't want to be on a phone. But now he's all the way across the ocean and I can't reach out just to say, hey, I love you. I can't talk to you all day like I wanted to. Those moments were very special to me. And that was a tough time, honestly. I can say my emotions were like all over the place during that time because I was so happy he had this opportunity to be over there doing the work that he was doing. But I was so hurt too that I wasn't able to share in that with him as much as I wanted to the level and capacity that I wanted to, but also that I was unable to speak to him and have him the way that I could have had before. And that's really what I learned from that. Never again will I take any time to spend with my husband or anyone I love for granted, because you never know when those moments are fleeting. You never know when that'll be the last moment. You never know if you'll ever get that opportunity again. And the Most High just really showed me in that time that, as easily as you had access, I can revoke your access too. And that taught me so much. It taught me, be appreciative of what you have. Don't play around with the blessings the Most High gave you. He will take it away. He will take it away like it was not even there. And that is like the scariest feeling like you could ever feel, because it just shows you how easily things can be removed from your life. Things that were like a major part of your life could really just be taken away from your life, just like that, like it was nothing. And so that's definitely what I learned from that. I'm so happy I learned it because, like I said, never again will I do that again. I am appreciative of everyone in my life. I love everyone in my life, the purpose that they play. And I'm going to take advantage of every moment I have with my loved ones, because you never know when that's the last moment you have. And so I pray that you receive some edification from this story. This was a quick one, I know. May not be as deep as you were seeking, but truly look at yourself, look at your life introspectively and see, are you truly taking advantage of all the blessings the Most High is giving you? Or are you not being appreciative of them because it's not in the format or the way that you would like? Spoiler alert, I am going to be talking about that a little bit next week too. So be prepared for that one. But thank you so much for listening to this story. And I pray that you got something from this, and I'll be right back after this quick message. This episode is brought to you by the Almighty's House of Yisrael, an Ivri restoration and wellness community service organization founded to carry out the mission of Isaiah 58. Learn more at almighty'shouse.life. Doing amazing things at the Almighty's House of Yisrael. If you don't already know, please visit almighty'shouse.life to check us out. And I got to pull up my resources since I've already plugged AHOI. I can plug the United Nation of Yisrael. We are gathering, we are unifying. And if you would like to mobilize and get involved, please visit yahwehgather.us/brotherhood if you're a brother, /sisterhood if you are a sister. Once again, thank you for being here. I'm excited to be with you. I hate to say this, but this season is coming down to a close. We've already hit that midway point. And I think we have just a couple more episodes left in this season. I know I wasn't supposed to tell you that, but I just thought that you should know, unless the Most High changes his mind and, of course, drops something else on me that I need to share. And if that's the case, then we'll continue on. But as of now, we are coming to that closing point. But I just thank you for being here with me. I will be back again next week. But just remember, for the sake of this episode, don't wait until it's gone to appreciate it. Appreciate everything and everyone in your life, because you never know when it could be gone. I thank you so much for being here, and I cannot wait to see you again next week. And shalom.